Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Reddit Aliens. I am John, and as always, thank you so much for being here. A lighthearted topic today. I like it. Let's do it. Redditors who have actually won a lifetime supply of something. What was it, and how long did it actually last? Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. 18 years ago, we won a lifetime of vet visits for my cat. They expected to give it to someone with an old pet, not a kitten. The cat's still alive. The vet clinic has moved and rebranded 4 or 5 times, but they're still honoring the reward. My mom almost ate the white M&M that they promoted like 25 years ago. If you find it, send it in. You get a lifetime supply of M&Ms. They sent us a voucher pack that almost no store would take, but still managed to make it, though, with a lifetime supply in about 1 month. Granted, there were 8 siblings. Probably for the best, though. My grandparents were gifted a lifetime subscription to Reader's Digest as a wedding gift. They were offered that, or some other magazine that went out of business a decade later, so they made the right call. Being a frugal family, that subscription was utilized fully. After Grandma and Grandpa were done with each issue, it would be passed along to siblings and their kids, with this little round robin thing they did, sharing photos and updates of what everyone was up to, passed along in a manila envelope, and when it came back to you, you removed your items and put new ones in. They had been together for 62 years when Grandpa died, but Reader's Digest honored the subscription an extra decade until Grandma passed. I forgot how much was paid for it, but I'm certain the gifter got their money's worth. My dad won a lifetime supply of cat food, but A, they delivered it all at once, and B, our cats didn't like that flavor, of course. We donated it all to a local animal shelter, who were super pleased. Nice. Just proving once again that cats are at the same time the absolute best and the absolute worst. Of course they weren't going to like the flavor. Didn't matter what it was. Guaranteed. I had a friend in college who won a lifetime supply of Gillette razors. They just sent him a crate of Mach 3 razors and refill cartridges, and that was that. It was just a one-time shipment, but it would be hard to get through that many razors in one lifetime. I won a free full-body massage for life, which basically just translates to 2 massages a week. It was really good. I got addicted. I knew everyone who worked there, and I got to experiment with all of them to see which were the best. Ended up fluctuating between 3 different staff toward the end. They would even train new staff on me for free because I spent so much time over there. Those training massages never cost me anything either, or counted toward my 2 free massage a week limit. When the place closed down, I realized just how expensive massages were. I haven't had one in ages, and I miss it so bad. I bought, not one, a lifetime membership to PureVPN. After just 5 years, they reneged on that and said, no, you only purchased 5 years. I showed them the receipt and basically got, well, we don't honor that anymore, sorry. Thankfully, I bought it through Stack Social, so when I reported that to them, they hooked me up with a different lifetime VPN provider instead. Screw paying monthly for something I barely use. My parents won a lifetime supply of toiletries, soap, toilet tissue, and some other stuff. Once per quarter, you mail in the coupon, and they send you another quarter's worth of stuff. It's all institutional grade, like what you'd expect prisoners to use. My mother bought a Toyota Yaris years ago, and the dealership was running a Tires for Life promotion. She gets free tires whenever she needs them, but she has to do all of her maintenance work at the dealership, and the deal won't transfer if she sells the title. The dealership didn't run the promo for long, and she was told recently she's the only participant left from the promotion. My uncle gets free Ben & Jerry's for life. He's been friends with the actual Ben and Jerry since before they opened the first shop. He has a card that says free ice cream for life, and he get pints or cones at any scoop shop, at least locally. He also gets decks of free pint coupons that he can use at grocery stores and gas stations. When Unilever bought them out, they tried to buy back all the free ice cream for life cards. I guess it was a fairly generous offer, because my uncle is one of only a few that chose to keep the card. I won the Cash for Life $1,000 a week lottery about 10 years ago. Every year, I send them proof I'm still alive, and they send me a check for $52,000 in the mail. Nice. When I bought my bicycle, the shop policy was that any new bike purchased included free tune-ups for life. Personally, I thought this was a great business move because it got me back in the store regularly to redeem my tune-ups, kept my bike running smoothly, which kept me as an active cyclist. Active cyclist equals active customer, and I also would regularly buy parts and service beyond the tune-up when I was there, which I was happy to do since I had a good relationship with the shop through this free tune-up deal. When the shop changed owners, they discontinued the tune-ups, even for people like me who had purchased their bike under these terms. I don't go there anymore. This happened in the late 90s. A local bar ran a wet t-shirt contest where the girl who won would win a lifetime of free bar drinks at the bar. They also had cash prizes for second and third place. I don't remember how much, but it was a lot at the time. The result was a packed bar. Tons of girls entered, tons of guys spending money. My friend's girlfriend at the time, now his wife, won first place. She was stoked. He was excited. Within a couple weeks, the building was condemned and tore down a few weeks after being that. Turns out, the owners of the bar knew that the building was going to be condemned and just wanted to have one last party. Cool. That's weird. I used to drink at Patty's Pub all the time, too. Interesting. I won a lifetime supply of AA and AAA batteries from a major Canadian tech retailer about 20 years ago. Thing is, batteries last a long time, and there really isn't that much that I use batteries for. Hypothetically, I could start a black market battery business by just getting my free batteries and selling them to people in need, but it's just not worth the time. Even getting the batteries isn't worth the time. I have to get them to type in my name in their system, and there's a note by my name indicating that I get free batteries because I won a contest 20 years ago. And they then run and get their manager to look at it because that looks suspicious. And then the manager looks at it and then asks me questions, and then they finally relent and give me my free batteries. I won a lifetime supply of Oreos. It was actually just one pellet full of Oreos. Probably would last a normal person their whole life. It was like 1,000 pounds of Oreos. I gave away so many Oreos. Having a party? I'll bring a bunch of Oreos. Break room needs snack? Oreos. I ended up donating like 400 pounds of Oreos to a shelter just to get them out of my garage. Just for kicks, I called to inquire if lifetime meant my lifetime and that I had finished off the pellet. They said the pellet would last a reasonable person their whole life, so that was a bummer. But I think that's typically how those things work. I didn't really win it, and it was only a year's supply, but I got a year's supply of Hot Pockets when I was 17 because I bit into a Hot Pocket that had no filling, and I sent them an email pretending to be my mom complaining about it. To my surprise, they actually replied and sent me a golden coupon that was good for a year. I ate so many Hot Pockets that I hate them now and haven't had one since. I once won a year's supply of Pepsi from a local radio station. The contest was finding specific serial numbers on a dollar bill and being the first to call into the station. The year's supply was a case. Didn't win a lifetime's worth, but won a year's worth of non-perishable food. Every month, we'd get 2 or 3 massive boxes filled with all sorts of non-perishable foods. It lasted for about 9 months before something changed behind the scenes with the company. They got back in touch with us a few months after the year was up and told us we still had 3 months credit, so we told them to surprise us. This all happened years ago, and we've still got some of it left. My parents did twice in a relatively short period of time. The first was at fair when I was in high school. They advertised it as a lifetime supply of ice cream sandwiches. They ended up giving us 100 boxes all at once, right there on a warm July day. My mom was only able to collect at the end of the day, so there wasn't even that many people to hand them out to. We got home and had about 60 left after giving away as much as possible and throwing out what didn't fit in our freezer. I played lots of sports, so I ate a lot, and my parents just said I could eat as much as I wanted anytime I wanted. I went through 60 boxes in a couple of months. That was a good time, but not so good for my weight. The second was when they bought an expensive microwave about a year later and won a 5-year supply of microwave popcorn. Basically, the same thing happened. We got a huge box with like 200 packages, and I was told to eat as much as I wanted. After living in a house that smelled like popcorn for a few weeks, my parents just threw the rest in the garbage. I once worked a job that had me purchase Subway sandwiches for mobile working crews and let me keep the tickets. When you could fill the card up for free sandwiches, all the tickets were numbered and purchases valid. After 2 years, I had enough tickets and receipts to redeem multiple sandwiches daily for at least 6 months if I wanted, and still accruing more. I started filling the cards and giving them to friends to eat a free lunch. Within 1 month, my friend and I were banned from every Subway in a 5-mile radius in Los Angeles. They put our pictures up on the wall and refused to honor the stamps, no matter who brought them in. Inside of another 2 years, Subway corporate canceled the stamps altogether, and no one would accept them. I couldn't even give them away to a food bank or the homeless to get a free sandwich. Thanks, Subway. I won a lifetime of free oil changes for my car. It was during a sale the dealership was having where you had to take a photo with your pet, and the person who most resembled their pet won. I don't know if I should feel happy or concerned about that one. What they did fail to mention is that it was a lifetime of oil changes for the vehicle I had, and I couldn't transfer it to anyone else. So, when my dad took over my car loan, they dropped that little tidbit of info on us. Only really lasted me about 2 oil changes. When I was a kid 30 years ago, my dad said he'd won free pizza coupons. I think it was Domino's. And he had a massive stack of these little business cards, each for a free large pizza. My dad said we had to be careful using them though, so we would only use them occasionally. And I remember my dad sometimes making me order the pizza and answer the door to get the free pizza, even though I was only like 9. Looking back, my dad worked for a commercial printing company and was not exactly an upstanding citizen. I'm pretty sure he didn't win those cards. Back in 1977, when I was 13 years old, I won a contest for a lifetime supply of models from Ravel. A semi-truck pulled up to our house in a very quiet suburban neighborhood and proceeded to unload 4 pallets of plastic models in the driveway. There were hundreds of models, probably one of everything they offered in their catalog at the time. I kept about 2 dozen, which kept me busy for a year or so. My father helped by finding a local retail hobby store to buy the rest of them at a very favorable price so we could just get rid of them. He put the money into a U.S. savings bond for me, which I cashed out many years later to use for a down payment on my first new car. Not necessarily one, but I bought a lifetime membership at one of my favorite nightclubs or concert venues early in the pandemic. They released a limited amount as a COVID fundraiser, and they went fast, and will likely never do something like it again, so it feels a bit like I won. Came with a free entry plus 1, coat check, and 2 drink tickets at every event at the venue, even sold out ones, for life. Several edit, a couple. Years out, I've gotten more value than the cost. I'm still on the list for every event, and most of the staff there know me, partly because I'm there a lot, and also because I tip well on those drink tickets. I'll often just drop by for a random event or artist I'd never heard of, or dip in for half an hour at a sold-out event with a $50 door cover just to say hello to some friends. I imagine someday the venue will close up shop, and my lifetime membership will close with it. Way to make the most of something good, and you're taking care of staff even though you could drink for free. You're my type of person. Congrats, I hope the place never closes. I took my kids to a pizza buffet place when they received a free kids meal coupon for good grades. The cashier mistakenly charged us for the meals. When the manager came out to correct the transaction, I said he could just return the coupon and not worry about it. He gave us an entire stack, about 50 of unused coupons that were attached together like a checkbook. We got free kids meals until they obviously reached the age limit. When I was a kid, I won a contest online which included a lifetime supply of Hubba Bubba bubble tape. I don't remember the exact amount, but I think it was about a dozen boxes of gum. They also sent me a small boombox and a hockey jersey with the Hubba Bubba logo on it. I got sick of it pretty quickly, and it had a shelf life. A friend and I wound up using it all for a school project where we had to make a model of the town from the book The Outsiders. We made the entire model out of gum, and it was disgusting. Our jaws got sore from chewing all the gum, so we wound up dipping it in water instead. Our teacher docked us points for creativity. 20 years later, I'm still pretty mad about that. Wow, I was not expecting this to get so many responses. I should clarify that we lost points because it wasn't creative enough. Reading these responses really validates my anger, lol. Stay golden, everyone.